How to grow your hair long if it's dry, 4C, and very delicate? Leave it alone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is you're watching this. And this is that Q&A video I've been talking about on Instagram. I hope you enjoy. Question number 1. How do I grow my hair long? It's really dry and 4C. How to grow your hair long if it's dry, 4C, and very delicate? Leave it alone. I know people think you need to do all the things, throw all the things at your hair. You don't. The most delicate hair type is 4C/4D. People are still trying to classify these types, but it's really the texture of your hair. When I say the texture, I mean its porosity, how thick a layer of cuticle scales you have on your hair and all that, or how much moisture it's able to retain and all of that. That matters most. If your hair is really dry and loses moisture quickly, you want to moisturize, seal all that moisture in with an appropriate leave-in conditioner that has humectants in it, and then put it in the style leave it alone. Question number 2. How do I grow my hair thick? Is it possible to grow thick hair, or does it all depend on genetics? This answer is a yes and no answer. The reason why is because a lot of us don't realize that we're not actually achieving our maximum thickness for our own genes, our own selection of genes, because we don't realize that there are factors that we are ignoring that are causing our hair growth to be a lot less optimal than it could be. So factors, I like to use my 5 fingers for these factors: sleep, stress, oh good God, water, diet, and exercise. Those are the factors I like to talk about, because sleep, if you don't get enough sleep, that will mess up everything from your digestion to your hormonal balance. And hormonal balance controls everything. That's how the body messages itself. That's how it tells whatever areas of the body to function. Sleep, stress, that also does the same thing. I could do a whole video on, in fact, I should do a whole video. In fact, I will do it tonight. I will just sit here and record that video on the 5 things that you need to do right now to correct or to optimize your hair growth. So sleep and stress messes up your hormonal balance and messes up everything from your sleep to just listen, it really messes with you. If you go through long periods of stress, you produce a hormone called cortisol, which can change how your body functions, and that is not fun. My son's just here destroying my sitting room. It's okay. Diet. I don't believe in elimination diet. I believe in adding your nutrients to your diet. So your proteins and your green leafy vegetables, you need those. Those are your things that will help you. Water. Water is, I would like to say, it is like the lubricant of the body. It's the fuel for the body. Water is so important in so many biochemical processes in your body. Many of you don't know this, but I will just let you know now. I studied biomedical science as my undergraduate degree and as my MRes. So when it came to that side of things, I found that very interesting. Water is very, very needed everywhere around the body for many, many processes. So keeping yourself well hydrated, it's great for increasing your blood volume or keeping your blood volume at optimal level. So blood volume being at optimal level also means ability for your body to move around all those lovely nutrients that you have to the right places that they need to be. So that's another reason why you need to drink water. Being dehydrated causes your electrolyte balance to get messed up, which obviously messes up all your other processes as well. So keeping hydrated is important for that. Digestion just doesn't work very well if you are not well hydrated, so you need to do that. And of course, digestion is where we get our nutrients, which cause our hair to grow. So drink your water. Drink up. So that was a very long answer to that second question. But to be able to grow your hair long or thick, you need to be able to maximize or optimize all the things that are factors in your body's health, basically. Which takes me comfortably to point number 5 of my answering that one question, which is exercise. Hey, exercise is great for a number of things. It increases your heart rate, which forces your blood around your body to reach all the places it needs to reach. so your blood reaches all the places it needs to reach, which gets all the nutrients to the nice places that they need to go to. It also, oh come on, it aids digestion, because when the body is demanding energy, the body thinks, oh, right, we need energy, so let's start making some. Let's start breaking down that food and making some. Also, the actual movement of your muscles causes all our muscles in our entire body work together. So, just when our bodies, particularly our legs, when your muscles move around, they encourage your gut muscles to move around, which forces the mechanical part of digestion to happen, which is the squeezing and the squishing and the flattening and the stretching out, all of that happens in your gut, which enables the body to get the maximum use of, or basically to access the maximum amount of nutrients that it can access in your food. If you're all that's actually also another thing to do with stress. So if you're all tense, your muscles are tense, which means all your muscles start to get tense. A lot of your muscles get tense. Being stressed means your jaw's clenched all the time, your abs will be tense all the time, your shoulders will be tense. A lot, like I said, our muscles work together. All of them will be tense. Almost all of them will be tense, and that's not good for you. So exercise, y'all. Exercise. Oh, come on. Let's move on to question number 3. Question number 3, do I need to take supplements? The short answer, no. Unless you are living in the Western hemisphere of the world, basically cold places where we don't get enough sunlight, you need to take vitamin D if you are my skin color, his skin color. If you are a black or African or brown person, you need your vitamin D supplements, because of our skin, we do not absorb enough from the sun, and we don't get enough sunlight in these countries. So we need our vitamin D supplements. Everything else, unless you have specifically taken a blood test that shows that you have specific deficiencies, you don't need to take any additional supplements. Unless you're pregnant, that's a different thing, but that's a completely different thing with a different video intended for that later. There are some supplements that if you take them when you don't need them, they can actually do harm. I said in my live video that didn't save the other evening that all things, including water, are chemicals. And chemicals are able to have chemical reactions with other chemicals. Things that go on in our body basically are chemical reactions. Digestion is a chemical reaction. Now, these things happen to bring about results, to produce something, to break something down or whatever. The point is, when you take certain vitamins, some people say, oh, you'll just pee it out if you don't need it. But there are some of those vitamins that will interact with things in your body before they are excreted. So they may do some damage before they're excreted. Vitamin A is one of those. It's better to eat it than to, and even then, there are, when you know what foods are vitamin A rich, try not to eat too many of them or too much of them. All the orange vegetables, all of them contain vitamin A. The compound that it's in is an orange kind of compound. So you've got your carrots, your sweet potatoes, your, pumpkins, squashes, all those types of things contain vitamin A. When you're pregnant, the doctor will advise you not to take or not to eat too much stuff with vitamin A in it. And that's why. How do I grow back my edges? Let's talk about this. Short answer, leave them alone. Long answer, it really does depend on what caused the loss of your edges. If it's a hormonal factor, you need to look into what hormone, how or why the hormone is being overproduced or whatever. There are certain conditions that cause hair loss along your edges, and they need to be treated by a doctor. So what you can do is see a trichologist or see a dermatologist, and they'll ask you a lot of questions to do with your medical history, etc., and they'll try to determine what caused your edge loss. And then from then on, you can do as they've suggested to fix the edge loss. The simple answer, without going into medical conditions, is no, you do not need to rub things. Rubbing castor oil into your edges is not going to do it. It's not going to do it. Some people say, oh, they've experienced results with it. I'm like, I had a client in the summer who said for two or so years, more than 2 years, she's been rubbing castor oil on her edges. And I'm like, okay, so let's think about the thickness of castor oil. Castor oil is thick, it is sticky, it is occlusive. The word occlusive means it can block pores. And because of that, think about your follicles. Thinking about your follicles, they are like pores. Pretty much they are pores. You then block those. That will cause inflammation, which will lead to irritation, inflammation, all the bad things, which means that hair follicle is not going to be as effective as it should be. Don't put things on your scalp, please. The things that you can put on your scalp include things like peppermint oil, not directly, you must dilute it. Tea tree oil, you must dilute it. Rosemary oil, unless you are pregnant, but you must dilute it. Sorry, just saw a message. You must dilute it in a carrier oil. So get a bit of a carrier oil, like I think it's 3 drops to a tablespoon of carrier oil. Very, very tiny amounts of those essential oils in carrier oils, such as olive oil, coconut oil, whatever oil you prefer and are not allergic to. Apply those to your edges to stimulate blood flow. That's the only thing that it does, really. They don't... You are too pleased with yourself about that. They don't cause growth. They just stimulate blood flow, which can inspire growth. So that's what you can do, but you don't leave them there indefinitely. I don't believe in putting things on your scalp. Wash them off. Okay, so tea tree, rosemary, peppermint. There are a few others, but I'm just going to leave it at that for now. If you're pregnant, do not use any of those because there isn't enough research to say whether it's harmful to the baby or not. So just leave those alone if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. I'm not using any of those right now because I am breastfeeding. But the truth of the matter is, if you are doing the 5 things I said before, getting enough sleep, reducing your stress, having a good diet, drinking enough water, and of course exercising, that gets your blood flowing anyway. So stop looking for things just to slap on your scalp to solve all your problems. The truth of the matter is that there is no magic bullet to solve all our problems. We need to know how things work so that we know how best to make them work for us. So that's kind of why I'm here, actually. And that takes me conveniently to question number 5. How do your services work? I'm gonna tell you. So I'm a hair coach, and basically I offer you a free 40-minute consultation, 40 minutes to an hour. After that consultation, I will give you some recommendations, and you can choose after that to engage me for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year's worth of coaching, where I hold your hand through the process of growing your hair and achieving your hair goals, teaching you things myself in terms of technique for brushing your hair, techniques for combing your hair, deep conditioning, understanding your own hair, because everybody's hair is different. We have so many different factors involved in our hair. I think it's the most beautiful thing that just because his hair and my hair are 4B, our hair doesn't behave the same with the same chemicals. Okay. Just because we have the same hair texture doesn't mean we're going to have the same experience with our hair. So the objective is for me to support you in the process of getting to know your own hair, taking into account all the factors of your own health, your life situation, trying to find a way that you, within your own lifestyle, can enjoy your hair, optimize your growth. And of course, really, all the things that I'm suggesting, I'm a holistic hair coach. So I'm very, very much into you having a healthy body and a healthy mind as well, because all of those things are factors in your hair growth. Our body prioritizes our hair last. So if everything else is okay, then your hair will be okay. So what we want to do is maximize all those great stuff so that we can have fantastic hair and enjoy our hair, not just now, not just during our 20s or our 30s or our 40s, but for the rest of our lives, because we already are comfortable with ourselves and with our hair. Okay, and now our bonus question, which came just from Instagram, from our lovely sister, Ilary Lifestyle. You should go check out her page, by the way. And while you're there, follow my page as well while you're there, and have a look at my Hair Gist series. So her question was, are homemade products or formulated products better for your hair? And here's my answer to this. So, as I like to say often, your hair journey and maximizing your hair growth is down to a number of things, but mostly understanding, your health, your diet, taking care of yourself as a whole, but also understanding your hair chemistry. Now, again, looking after hair is simply chemistry. The surface of your hair the cuticle scales will lie flat if they're in an acidic environment. So you need something to close your cuticles. You're going to need an acidic thing. So that's just one example of chemistry having an effect on your hair. So flatter cuticle scales will reflect light better, which makes your hair look shiny. If your cuticle scales are raised, they're going to look dull. So what looking after your hair is about when it comes to products is products that work well with your own hair's chemistry to be able to make the hair do what you want it to do. Now, you want products that are going to shield your hair from the elements. You want products that are going to keep the cuticle scales protected. You want the products that are also going to allow moisture to get into the hair. So I mentioned humectants earlier. Humectants draw water towards the hair. So you definitely want stuff like that. You can make such things in your home. You can. You have to be aware of the science though. That's how you do that. Things like honey is a humectant, you know what I mean? But you have to combine them knowing exactly what you're trying to create. So some people can create those kind of things and be perfectly happy with them. But also there are scientists who have spent time formulating these things, so you don't have to. You don't necessarily have to become the scientist and start figuring out what to mix together to get the perfect products. You don't have to. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. Instead, the work you would need to do, the legwork you would need to do would be figuring out which products have what you want inside them so that you can get the results you want. So reading labels is more than just reading the claims of the manufacturer, which is, this is a moisturizing shampoo, this is a protein treatment, this is that, the other, and the other. And that's why I'm going to be doing a series soon talking about ingredients in products, store-bought products, so that you can understand how to identify what ingredients will be useful in your hair and if they're actually doing what they say they are or not, because there's a whole bunch of stuff to do with whether or not in that combination they would actually be work or not. Me officially done nattering for the day. I hope you have enjoyed this Q&A. If you have any other questions, please do leave them in the comments below. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this, like it, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and of course share this with someone who would find this interesting. Ask him why he's making this noise, because I don't know.